and welcome to Talk Time. Today I'm joined with Deepika Narayan Bhardwaj. She's the founder of Ekam Nyay and she's also a documentary filmmaker and a male activist. Deepika, I've been wanting to have this conversation with you for a while and fortunately I got hands on you today. So I'm not going to let you go before asking some very, very important questions and things that I really want to discuss. Men's right. We have constantly been talking about women right. There are a lot of protests. There are a lot of discussions. There are constant conversations. But recent times and recent acts that have happened with men, especially husbands that we've seen in the recent past, some stories which are scary. And then you realize that men also go through so much, and there is so many incidences which go unreported, untold for various reasons. So I just want you to put a light on some of the incidences that have happened recently. First and foremost, I want to talk to you about the thing which made the nation at least for once realize that men also go through a lot of torture in a marriage and get they can also be victim of violence in a very different way. Was the techie?
Yep.
Yes, and him narrating his entire incidents before committing suicide.
Yep.
For us, it seemed like the first, but for you, it would be one of the many.
Yep. So I started my journey way back in 2012, doing focusing on men's issues, Richa. And my first project was a documentary film called Martyrs of Marriage. It's a 1.5 hour long, 90-minute telltale of what Atul Subhash said in 2024 December. That documentary has 3 suicide cases, just one documentary. And while I was shooting the film, there are so many suicides that happened right when I was I was going to Bangalore, I was going to Hyderabad to shoot one case where 498 misuse had happened. While I was in the train, a young boy in Bangalore died by suicide. And his wife had filed a false dowry case, and it is he who was a victim of domestic violence. I'll take his name. His name was Manoj, and Manoj ki wife was a government employee, and Manoj was doing a private company. So the conflict between them was that she thought that he doesn't earn much, and she has a power job, she has a government job, so he's good for nothing. So she was literally manhandling him, and there was physical abuse as well, because of which he left her. One fine day, he said he cannot take it anymore. He left her, went and started living in a paying guest house because she would not let him talk to his family also. This is how men are alienated completely by women who have some issues for sure. And it's not just the false case, they completely, it's a pattern that I've seen in so many cases that, she would completely disconnect the person from his family first so that his support system is cut, then make him completely dependent on her, and then start abusing him. And then this person either takes that abuse, or if he stands against that abuse, then she would file cases on him. So Manoj was at that stage where he decided that I'm going to go and stay in a PG now. So he moved to a PG, paying guest accommodation, and then he issued a divorce case. He filed a divorce case. The summons was served to her. The day she received the summons, she went outside his house and created such a big tamasha, such a big tamasha. The entire street saw what happened. And she went there and hit his mother, hit his brother, and there was complete chaos. And then she went to the police station and gave a complaint or an FIR of 498. The moment he got to know, he hanged himself the same night. And while I was going to Hyderabad to shoot another case, I cut my journey. I got out of the train in Bangalore itself, and then I interviewed his family. They were kind enough to actually speak to me. This was just when the suicide had happened. So I have been documenting these cases for now years and years. There are absolutely horrific cases.
And have you seen any change? You've been documenting it since 2012. It's 2025 now. In the past 13 years, have you seen a change? Has there been any progress when it comes to men getting violated?
The only progress that I could say gives a little bit of relief, Richa, is that now the country is talking about these issues a lot more than ever before. And that comes because media is now picking up these cases. A
But do
lot
you
of
think though?
journalists follow me and follow what I do, and I should actually be very thankful to some of the journalists and anchors and media folks who have actually picked up a lot of stories that I bring out. They are now going on ground to cover these issues as well, and that's why there's a discussion. The only shining light that I would also say that has happened in the last 13 years since I started is the judgment by Supreme Court in 2014 in Arnesh Kumar versus State of Bihar, where the Supreme Court said put its foot down and they said now we are issuing guidelines because the police does not pay any attention to what we have been saying for years, and they just arrest people immediately after an FIR. That cannot happen now. They will have to serve a notice to the husband and his family member. If they come, cooperate in the investigation, you are not going to arrest them. So that's
But
the only silver lining.
but do you think that the real cases also which women go through, and we know for a matter of fact that there are a lot of rapes that even happen on a daily basis in India, not just India, worldwide, which we're talking about India right now. On a daily basis, there are more to 8 to 10 rape cases that happen. So do you think like such kind of judgments by the Supreme Court makes those women, it becomes a little hard for them?
Well, there is no denial of the fact that the police works in a very mechanical mode,
Okay.
and rather than putting their brains into the case and understanding every case on a case to case basis. But I don't know if I can actually blame them, but it's their job. I mean, however tough it is, whatever circumstances they are doing it in, it is their job. But let's accept that our police in India is extremely understaffed, Richa.
Yes.
Okay, they are overburdened. Is also not a word actually. I don't even have the word to tell. I've sat in police stations. The kind of cases that come, the kind of evil human nature that they see every day, it is not very easy for them also to do their job. But yes, there is an impact when we are talking about false cases and we are talking about changes that need to be brought. I at least am very cognizant of the fact that yes, some genuine victims are going to definitely suffer because then there would be a lot
There
of
is always
conversation about this.
tensions, yes.
But but we talking about these issues is not the problem. The problem is women filing false cases.
False. That's exactly what.
They need to be punished.
Yes, Deepika, I just wanted to ask you one more thing over here, like misuse of, basic misuse of all these rights that the women have, especially rapes that we've seen. There's so many fake rape cases. What do you think? What is really needed to be done to, actually get this right? Because men are targeted. They're scared. A woman just comes up to them and says that if you don't go according to this, there'll be a rape case. We saw even Me Too.
Yeah.
There was so much misuse during Me Too as well. There are a
Yeah.
lot of cases that we know. We all work in the spaces. Men were petrified
Yeah.
because any conduct could be taken as Me Too, and then somebody would say, "Okay, I don't like this behavior," and therefore. So, what do you say about that? And what is the change that is required?
The crux or the only thing that can make a difference is for the any authority that is looking into this complaint, whether it's the police, whether it's the judiciary, whether it's in posh cases it's internal complaints committee. When you are seeing that the woman is taking advantage of the law, you need to ensure that the person gets punished. Now, are all cases very black and white? No, all cases are not very black and white. Just because the woman has not been able to prove her allegations, does that mean that's a false case? No, it definitely does not mean it's a false case. But when you have a case where the man has sent her 4 emails telling her that your performance is bad, that you need to, pull up, or there has been a meeting arranged already where it's her performance that's a problem, and then when she retaliates with the case of sexual harassment, then it's very evident that it's a false case, and that's when people have to take a stand. Or a case that we recently, I helped someone who's a retired, in fact I don't have any problems taking the name because then people reach out to such people to take help because there's so many victims. We helped this elderly gentleman called Mr. Rakesh Walia. He's a senior citizen, cancer survivor, has had heart surgeries, extremely immunocompromised person. And what an amazing man he is. And his only mistake is that he had a book which was a bestseller. This lady reached out to him saying that she's going to get it translated into Hindi. He just had one meeting, physical meeting with her, wherein he picked her up from one metro station and dropped her to another metro station. She goes to the police station immediately after that and she says that she has been raped. And then we figure out that this woman has filed 9 rape cases like that within only in Delhi.
And
And
what happens to the woman then?
nothing. And that's the problem, Richa. We went all the Delhi High Court. We first went to get the case quashed because it's a blatantly false case. There is no evidence. There's zero evidence. Okay, literally, I'm telling you, zero evidence. She says she was raped in the car. She was orally assaulted and everything. There is zero injury on her body. Zero injury. Okay. Then she says that she was drugged and she was given some cold drink laced with sedative, which is the standard template now in false rape cases. She doesn't agree to give her medical. So there was no evidence at all. But still, the police is, instead of closing the case, punishing this woman for filing a false case, knowing that she has filed so many rape cases, they still file a charge sheet, and then we have to go to Delhi High Court. We ask the Delhi High Court to quash it. Delhi High Court, after looking at all the things, says, no, we don't want to give you relief. You go to the lower court and get the relief. Why? And then we had to go to Supreme Court. Supreme Court also gave us, yes, the relief. Yeah, they did quash the case, called it abuse of process of law. But you're seeing in front of you, there's a list entirely in,
And she's not,
and they let her
punished.
go.
Yes, what
They
is
don't even say that, they don't even ask the Delhi police to conduct a fair investigation on her and book her if she has filed these false cases.
Because the mental, forget everything else, just the mental abuse, the societal abuse that a man goes through. Any given day, if anybody is picked up from their home by a police, the mental abuse a person goes through
Oh,
after
yes.
that is too much. Especially in dowry
Absolutely.
cases also.
Absolutely.
Now, talking to
And
this-
not just that, Richa, one thing very important which we have to acknowledge is that people think that it is okay, that false cases are minuscule, ye hai, wo hai, falana, dhimkana. Anybody who, sort of wants to put down that men are also suffering, these are the usual arguments. Chote se number hain, what are the numbers we are talking about? It's not a big problem, it's blah, blah, blah. What you're failing to understand is that over here, a man is being violated, his rights are being violated, where a woman is misusing the entire system.
Yes.
It's not just, a woman, if a woman gets violated, it's a man that she is fighting against. But the system is standing by her right to fight that man. It's opposite here. This man is not just against the woman who is violating him by filing a false case, but he has to also face the entire system, which is still backing that woman. And she's taking advantage of that system to basically get back at this man. So he feels completely helpless, and that's why we see so many suicides that are happening.
I guess that's the case. The men do feel very alienated. We are not here telling that all women are wrong. And
No,
we're not completely here
absolutely
telling that all men are right. Of course, that's not the case.
Yeah.
But just keeping a black eye by saying and just closing our eyes and saying that men are not victim to problems, men are not subjected to any kind of harassment is absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
As we all discussed, that we all consider that at work harassments are only done towards women,
Yeah.
which is not true. A lot of men get very badly harassed. Even senior people can get very badly harassed by a younger staff just because you're a woman, you can play any kind of
I'll
part.
tell you a case that is going to shock you completely, Richa. There's a man who I've been in touch with. He is facing a false inquiry under Posh. He is a senior officer, and the lady who was at the rank of a peon in his office, she sends him explicit WhatsApp messages. Am I not hotter than your wife? I just want to have sex with you. You are such a handsome man. I have seen those WhatsApp chats. And then when the man did not give in to her advances, and because the man in age is much older than her, thinking that, if he files a formal complaint against her, then it may completely jeopardize her career, he actually asked 2 of his subordinate colleagues, female colleagues, to come and, put some senses into her brains. Eventually, when he doesn't give in to her advances, she files a fake sexual harassment case. And guess what? These women are also made a party to it. And what does the initial committee report says? That because this man did not block her soon enough, he may be thinking of having something with her. Can you believe this? And those women are also facing charges where the committee says that these women have outraged the modesty of this lady by calling her into the office and, sermonizing her. I am like, wow.
Yes, that is exactly the problem that we
Yeah,
want.
but it's not just the Posh Act. It's
Yeah.
all of the gender specific provisions in India are all only for women.
Yeah, we need a gender equality over here as well when
Yeah.
it comes to, because it's the case, the laws are in place. The implication of the laws seem to be a problem.
Yeah.
The procedure seems to be a problem,
Yeah.
because there would be, like you just mentioned, there's not all cases are black and white, but there's
Yeah.
some cases which are black and white.
Absolutely.
There's some cases wherein even someone who doesn't understand law, like a person like me, would see it and say, oh, it's very evident. Yes,
Yeah.
we need evidence for everything.
Yeah.
Talking about evidence, and before I let you go,
I'll tell you a very, very interesting case before you ask me this. I helped a guy, his name is Dheeraj Gupta. He is from Delhi. He was falsely implicated in a rape case by a woman he has never ever seen. Never seen. Forget about meeting. He had never seen the woman who lodged a rape case against him. It was a proper sextortion, not sextortion. In fact, there was no sex involved. Only there was It was a proper extortion modus operandi done by a gang who had already filed multiple rape cases. This gang, outside the police station, the man who had planted this woman asked him to pay 50 lakhs. His Dheeraj's wife was pregnant at that time. He refused to pay because he had not done anything wrong. And then he was immediately arrested, okay? And while he was in jail, because his wife was pregnant and the family was going through so much of trauma, they agreed to give 33 lakh rupees, which was shared in booty with various stakeholders. And I'm sure you can understand who all would have been involved. Now we went to the Home Minister. I went along with this guy. We filed a complaint. We got an SIT, special investigation team, ordered. By the way, Dheeraj spent 5 months in jail on this absolutely bogus rape case. There was an SIT instituted, and it was found that this gang had trapped him. He had done absolutely nothing wrong. Money was extorted from them. The woman took 33 lakh or whatever, and then immediately changed her statement. She gave an affidavit that the rape case that I was filed, the rape was not done by this guy. I had a misunderstanding. Okay. Now, the point is, finally an FIR was lodged against this gang. Okay. It's been 6 months. No arrest.
Deepika, so that's exactly what I was, wanting to talk to you about. Like, so in this, now that somebody has lost 5 months in jail, somebody's pregnant wife, the entire family has gone through, but nobody's responsible for it, right?
Yep.
And the people whom are responsible for it, also you are not taking them behind bars. So, well, this is actually a problem that we have. It is quite embedded inside. It's not just a problem at the top, okay, this is not happening or this law is not there. Our legal system, in that way, we have a lot of laws. We have very good lawyers. The problem is not well implicated. And the biggest problem is, I think, what you mentioned. The cops, we are not saying that the cops are wrong. They are just understaffed, overworked, and there is no timely justice happening. That is the real problem. That is what's going on. But the recent case of Meerut, where the wife with her lover murdered, put her husband in a drum, which is unfortunately become like a mockery now, because people are gifting drums. I've seen on internet on people's wedding. I don't know how people find that funny. And now it's believed that the woman is pregnant, so she will have a lot of breathing space in the jail now, of course, because pregnant people are taken very well care in the jail. That's what I've been told. Cases like this, you must have seen many. What do you think? Why do people, when there is an option of divorce, there's an option of leaving the person, why do people end up killing their husbands or partners? And the cases are a lot now. I think they're just being reported a lot more. I'm sure they must be happening over the years. It's just, you see a lot of them right now being reported.
Well, I would be naive to say that these, women do not have some sort of understanding of that they can get away. While anybody who murders, basically, whether that's a man or a woman, any murderer think, they will get away. They will not get caught. But very, very interestingly, there have been multiple now murder cases. One case I completely covered, which was from Panipat as well, where the woman had got her husband knocked off by a guy who she paid money to, and for 2 years nobody doubted her. And it was found out after 2 years that she actually got her husband murdered. There are a lot of women who first get the husband murdered and then pretend that he has gone missing, and then the lover angle comes and then the police then arrest. So somewhere I think they know that despite being involved in a crime like murder, they could get away, they could use a woman card. And this is not what just I am saying. I've read so many bail petitions where the women's council has actually argued that because she's a woman, that's why there should be leniency on her.
But
In
she's
fact,
a
there's a
murderer.
yeah, no, no.
And
In fact,
gruesome murders.
absolutely, absolutely, and you're absolutely right. There are people who are making fun of this because I don't know, somewhere the society usually does not look at the pain of men in the same eye as pain of women, and I will not blame them as well, to be very honest, Richa. There are just so many absolute horrific crimes that men do every day, every hour.
That is exactly on
so
this platform. That's exactly
yeah,
what I wanted
yeah.
to talk to you, Deepika, about, and I want to really thank you for doing this, what you're doing for the society, because it's not just important that as a society as a whole,
Yeah.
our job is, and what we all should do is, we need to be good towards everybody.
Yeah.
It does not cannot be defined according to your gender.
Correct.
And if you have to if you have to call a wrong, it has to be a man and a woman. And if you have to be right, it has to be for both men
Absolutely.
and women. And it's great to see you doing this.
No, one thing that common that you would see in a lot of these suicides, especially the suicide videos that have come off late, Richa, if you would observe,
Yes.
almost all of them are saying that men are not being heard. Almost all of them are saying that we went to the police and they did not hear us. Now that's disturbing, because constitutionally men also have the same rights as women. But legally, what is happening today is that in zest of protecting women, we are treating men as disposables. They are not disposables. They are human beings with the same skin, bone, heart, just like women. So the discrimination, the legal discrimination that is happening, it's very evident. And if a person has to die to prove their innocence, then I think it's a very, very sad thing.
Then it's a failure on our end. I think
Yeah.
it's a failure on the end of the system and of the society
Yeah.
as a whole. Because it is very important for everyone to be heard. No matter what your gender is, it is very important. And Deepika, thank you for being the voice for the men who are not being able to hear.
Thank you so
And thank you so much for being with us on Talk Time. And in our comment section, anybody who feels that they're going through something and want to reach out to Deepika, please do. And we would send your request ahead towards Deepika. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.